Let's have some tea. So get yourself a cup of tea. Let's talk about some gouache. Hello artists, welcome back. It is Friday. Awesome, right? So guess what? Do you guys remember just a few videos ago, I had bought the Himi Gouache set with the 80 milliliter cups. They were huge. And there were 24 colors, much like the 18 color, but it was extensive and it was bigger. And I had every intention, I promise, I had every intention to create a piece of artwork with it. But I went online not too long after that on Amazon, and then I found this. Remember whenever I went a little gaga over that pastel set? Wow, do they have a pastel 24 set? Yeah, I did a little bit of exchange. Now, I could have owned both sets, but I thought, why bother with all that? I really didn't know if I was going to be able to use all of that up before all of it dried out. Plus, I had a little bit of skepticism on the big cups. I didn't know how, like, if they were dry, if they would respond as well to water the way that the smaller cups did. But anyways, I went ahead and exchanged them. Now, I might buy it again later. I'm goofy like that. But for this, I mean, look at these colors, and we'll go through this color chart too. So let's just get right into it. Before we do though, I just want to say thank you. Hello, how are you doing today? And my name is Jane. I run this channel and it is all things art. I'm a fine artist. I do tips, techniques, reviews, everything else. If that sounds like it's a good deal for you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, and
I will be here for you
when you need me. Okay, so let's just go ahead and bust this thing open. I do have a time lapse of the artwork that I created with this, which you will see. And she is my Galaxy girl. And I listened to a lot of Madonna while I was creating it, so she kind of turned out looking a little bit like Madonna. It wasn't intentional. So here we go. Harps and angels are singing for this particular set. Are we not correct on that? I mean, come on, look at how beautiful this is. Now, this is me being sloppy here, but a few of the colors got a little contaminated, but it's no big deal. You can go ahead and just swirl a little paintbrush in there. They don't come like this. This is just me after my sloppy painting. I've gone ahead and gone through the trouble of peeling off the caps, which I found it to be a lot easier than the 80 milliliter caps. Those were to take off. And so these were a lot easier, and I'm just not sure if it's because it's a bigger cup on the other set or not, but they seem to be like sealed with like army glue. It was crazy. These, however, were very pleasant, very easily taken off, and look how beautiful they look all together. So I went ahead and I have footage of me swatching things out. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get into this, and I'm gonna name all the colors for you. And I will say this, I pointed this out in the last video, and it has a little bit, I don't know if it's just a lost in translation kind of thing, or if it's just that they see color a little bit differently, but some of these colors are a little strange, and some of them are actually really, really funny. Like this one right here, this little like yellow color right here, that's named cheese. So here we go. I'm gonna stop babbling. Okay, so we've got burnt umber, underglaze red, which I really like that one. Rose, beautiful. I used it in the painting. Deep red. I love these reds. Arts red, like the arts. Oriental red. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Vermeil. Okay, we've got gray, ochre. I hope I'm pronouncing this right too. Please correct me in the comments if I can't pronounce these things correctly. Kaolang red, spiced apple, pink, purple rose, UK. I really like that one. Earth yellow, salmon pink. This one I still don't understand because it's not, I mean, salmon is kind of a coral color. This is more of an orange color. And then we have just straight up orange, peach blossom. Again, I'm not really, this is an opera color to me. But you know what? They're just names. Let's see here. Nude, light tan. This one's hilarious. Yellow teeth. I know all about that. Deep yellow, medium yellow, primrose. That was another one that was a little bit confusing. So we got primrose. We have, I can't read that. Oh, yellow cream, lemon yellow. Beautiful color. I use this too. Naples yellow. We got two titanium whites here. We've got cheese, green frequency, Maldives, yellow green, Latin yellow, arts green, olive green, olive gray, light green, spearmint, beautiful color, turquoise, arts blue, cloud panina, blackish green, that's a beautiful color, emerald green, I think it's JINGDE, greenish gray, Aegean Sea, AEGEANC, lilac, sky blue, black, Prussian blue, ultramarine, pale purple, not very pale, violet, cobalt blue, and acid blue. Acid blue is so pretty. There's so many beautiful colors here. So as you can see, these are all kind of just very, very well filled to the brim. Wonderful, wonderful paints. What I like about them is, I mean, so many things that I like about them. What I do like is that they do have a nice creamy consistency, hence the name Jelly Gouache. That was kind of, this company kind of termed that name. And since then, there have been other companies who have come out and created Jelly Gouache. But it's not really jelly consistency. It's kind of a cream consistency. And what I like about it is that when it dries, it's not chalky. It's got a nice matte finish, but it doesn't have that chalky feel that some of the cheaper brands usually have. So this entire set was, I believe, $50, $49.99 on Amazon. I'll provide the link below. If it's out of stock right now, please forgive me. It does come back into stock periodically. I'm hoping that they have a consistency of keeping it in stock. I think what happens is that whenever Amazon stocks it, it just sells out so quick, so you have to be really on it. But and indeed, those links are affiliate links as well, so it does go to help out the channel a little bit. Thank you. And I appreciate it. So as you can see, I decided to go ahead and swatch these with a little bit of like white in here, and I got these two mixed up a little bit and I wasn't paying attention. So as you see on the chart, like cheese is here and then arts blue is here, and these two columns right here and these three colors were switched around. But look at how beautiful that ultramarine is, and look at how beautiful these colors are, just so bold. And like you've got, what I like about this is that this particular set, and I may have mentioned this earlier, it's the best of both worlds. It's got the pastels in there and it has the traditional colors, but it also has these beautiful kind of, not even neon, like they're just really, really super bright, like the yellow green, the peach blossom, the lemon yellow, the acid blue. I mean, it's really hard to capture sort of a neon color, and I don't know how light fast they are. That's the only thing. I really don't see any light fast information on these. And I might be able to find some on the website, but I didn't see any. Their website is very, very strange. It really loads very, very slowly for me. I'm not really sure if it's their format. It's very, very graphics heavy. So if you have been able to find out anything about the light fast information concerning these particular paints, please let me know. I would love to know. So I like that there's just a nice array of colors. Beautiful. It's not just nice to look at, though. I mean, it is a pretty thing to look at for sure. But whenever I was working, it was really, really nice because there wasn't as much color mixing involved. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like to color mix. I do. In fact, I love to color mix with watercolors, and sometimes I just like to have like a little 12 pan basic set of watercolors with me, especially whenever I'm, on the go. But this particular set, it's nice to be able to kind of cut back on time. You have everything that you need right there, and you can still mix the colors together if you want to create even more unique colors. So the only problem that I ran into was, and this is probably pretty obvious for some of you, but certain colors already have more white in them than others do. So I don't remember exactly what it was that I mixed, but it was a bright color and more of like a pastel color, and of course it kind of muted it a little bit. So I wasn't real super excited about that. But I just decided that whenever I went ahead and decided to, paint, I started out using skin tones. And whenever I paint with gouache, I typically have the first layer as more of a watercolor layer, very, very thin down. And because I made the mistake of going in too thick too quick, and that's a big mistake. So what I did was I ended up going, as you'll see in the time lapse, I went from going towards like muted tones and skin tones. At first it was skin tones and it was kind of these pastel tones. And then I just thought, you know what? I believe that this set is really meant for you to go in and be bold and to do less, like, to not have a lot of time spent overdoing it and over blending it and everything. And that is a fantastic way to approach this, especially with this set, because I was able to make these bold strokes and For me, if you know anything about my artwork, I love to blend. I love to blend with all mediums. And I have a tendency sometimes to even overwork it depending on which particular medium it is. This is something that I had to learn with oil paints, is that you don't have to blend as much as you think that you do. So that being said, gouache and oil paint have a similar way about them in that respect, that you don't have to overblend it unless you absolutely want to. But I like the fact that whenever I would layer and keep layering, and if I wanted to just blend a little bit, that was okay. I didn't have to overwork a section. And it was also a challenge to me personally because I've trained my brain to blend in my background of like colored pencil and pencil towards the wet mediums. This is a challenge for me. This is like kind of rerouting my brain to go, you can take these bold steps. You don't have to be so calculated, and you can let the creativity flow. So at some point during this particular painting, that's what I said to myself. I was just like, I'm just going to go with it and see what works and what doesn't. And therefore I won't be as frustrated with this medium. Gouache is an interesting medium because it can be very rewarding to work with, but can also be very frustrating in my experience if I don't keep up on it, if I'm not... there's sort of like a getting back on the bike kind of thing if I don't consistently use gouache. And I don't. I switch around on this channel. I go from colored pencil to watercolor and graphite to charcoal to gouache and back again, so it's a nice reminder to have this set that's so thoroughly organized and so thorough in the color selection that I can just go in and say, you know what, I'm going to pick rose, I'm going to pick this, I'm going to pick ultramarine, and I'm going to go for it, make these big bold strokes. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. I can make another layer. These are not acrylic gouache, by the way. These are your kind of traditional gouache where it can be layered on top and re-wetted. And so whenever you go to add on layers, the better it is to have them thicker than the previous layer. Much like how oils is, it's like a fat over lean thing. Because then, unless you want to like reactivate the layer underneath and you made a mistake, you don't want to put a watery layer over a thicker layer, because then it's just going to muddle things and it's going to lift that layer, and then you're going to be mad, and I've done that before. So here we are. Here she is in all of her glory. And if you can see this, she's got kind of a nice iridescent sheen. What I did at the end, and you'll see this in the time lapse, is I actually added in Arteza iridescent paint, and I will be doing a separate video on that completely exclusively. And I really loved this kind of white pinkish color. I debated on which particular iridescent color I was going to put on, but I really kind of wanted something in the background to kind of make it all come together. And I didn't want to paint it dark because we have so many dark and bold colors already. So this is actually something called Playful Pink, and I love it. It's nice and it's white, but it's purpley pink. So when the light hits it, it's nice and shiny, and I used it on the outside for just a little bit of a pop there. And we've got, like I said, these bold colors that I made towards the end. It took me a little while to kind of get used to it, and to really kind of, I made several mistakes, as you'll see in the time lapse, and that's okay. I mean, that's just part of the process. And I had to kind of step away before I would get aggravated, or, the times that I did make mistakes, I had to really put the paintbrush down and say, you know what, I need to come back later and work on this later, because I have a tendency with gouache, and I don't know if you guys have this tendency either, but I will get frustrated on making the mistake, and then I'll want to go right back in and correct it right then and there. And with gouache, it doesn't really work that way. So you can lift things right off the bat if you want to, but say you've already got something that you liked underneath and you want to lift the color, but you end up lifting two colors instead. If it's like some of the layers that are kind of the third or fourth layer that you've got going on. Now you can do that with the first layer, of course, and have no problem with that. But like I said, you'll see it kind of unfold where I've got certain colors that I thought would work in certain areas that didn't. And, I kind of just came to a point where I was satisfied with it, and I thought, okay, let's not go overboard. Let's not get crazy, okay? I've already gotten crazy a little bit with this. So, and then I just, I could have added in crazy details in here, which I do a lot with some of my other paintings, especially with watercolor and colored pencil. I like to add in that detail. But one of my things on my artistic journey this year, is that I have learned to just slow down and kind of leave certain things unblended, and it really kind of leaves a nice stylized appearance. I kind of like that. Like, it doesn't have to be 100% photorealistic, you know, insane details. Now, that does get the attention of the viewer, and that's wonderful. I love it. But sometimes you kind of want to switch it up and do something a little bit different and find some respect for the painterly effect, I guess. And some certain things just left a little bit undone or a little bit imperfect. I really like that. So do I recommend this 56 set of Miya Himi Gouache? Absolutely, 110%. If you love gouache, you're gonna love it. If you have the 18 set, which I do, yes, the colors are going to be in here that are in that set, but you get so many more colors. You get more than twice as many colors, and you really can't go wrong with this set. I mean, for the money, $50 for as many as you get, that's a great value, especially because a lot more expensive brands, you know, are only in like little 10 milliliter tubes, and you know, they're wonderful, but I mean, if you're on a budget, the Himi Gouache is the way to go. So stay tuned for details on my upcoming Patreon announcement. Yay! Okay, thank you for joining me today. I really always like getting in front of the camera and making videos for you. I love creating art, so I love to integrate that with my love of creating content. And it's because of you that I keep coming back, honestly. I mean, I know that sounds corny and everything, but it's true. I mean, you guys have like stuck by me, and I have like people who just watch my videos, even if like the content is just sort of mediocre at times. Okay, everyone, I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you like the Himi Gouache set if you decide to go ahead and purchase it. And let me know in the comments below if you have this particular set, or the bigger one that I reviewed, or the smaller one that has become so popular that started all of this. I would really love to know, and what you like about it and what you don't like about it. Do you have kind of a love-hate relationship with gouache? Because I know sometimes I do, and I'm like that with acrylic paint too. So I like to get the ball rolling on what kind of art supplies you guys like. And mainly my passion for art supplies is what started this particular channel. So I'm not sponsored by this company. I bought this with my own money, and I really, really like the product and wanted to share it with you guys. You guys seem to be very interested in the bigger one as well. So feel free to check that video out too. Thank you for being a part of this experience, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and feel free to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Yeah. That's about it. I don't remember what I was saying. Well then, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful time. I hope you're having a great time. And I always f this up. And if you're wondering why I have this here, oh my, I lost my connection. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Well, shit, where'd you go? There you are. All right, there we go. Oh, hi. All right. It's so funny because I can wear like these incredibly bright colors, and in real life, they're so much brighter. And so when I see myself on the screen, I mean, yeah, they're so bright, but they're kind of diffused. Everything gets really diffused on this particular camera. And you wonder why I wear colors, is because let me show you what I look like with just my basic everyday makeup. I mean, see how pale I look, okay? I'm just gonna give you a little glimpse. Yeah. But I do actually really love color, obviously. It's kind of a reflection in all of my art supplies, in the background, here, my makeup, my clothes, even my artwork. I realized that it all kind of coincided with being super bold, super bright. So maybe I should do a little bit of a challenge to do like muted tones in a painting, not just skin tones, but actual like all over muted tones. That would be a challenge for me, actually. If you're wondering what this spoon is for, it is for the honey and for the kratom that I drink with my tea, which helps with pain management. Hello artists, how we doing today? It is Friday, yay. So, forgot what I was gonna say. I also have a product demo for you, or product demo.
Oops.
So, okay, I've gone through the trouble of taking off all of those particular, you know, those things. I think the heat is starting to get to me, and it's just, I'm not very good at filming whenever it starts to get too hot for me. Just give me a moment. My hair has so much dry shampoo in it, but it's the only thing I can do to get it to work, especially down here where it's hot in my basement. Oh no! This has been like in the shot the entire time. That's okay. Whatever.